surprised.
Hi, Tatiana.
Hey, Tati.
Guys.
Hi,
Hello,
Tatiana.
everybody. Hello, Phil. Good to see you again. Darren, good to see you.
Hey.
David, of course, always a pleasure. So I
Always
clearly
a
just
pleasure.
missed. I just missed whatever the feature that helps you guys see better. So you have to repeat that. I walked in like midway.
I will. So it's so
Are you
funny.
talking about the font?
Yes. So there's now in I'm not sure if I can let me bear with me here because I have to
It's the preferences in the first window, the general window, right at the bottom.
Unfortunately, I can't show my preferences window because I'm running something that I'm not allowed to share. But outline window. I don't know why they call it outline window, but outline window font size at the very bottom of general. There's a slider now, and you can see the pixels, so you can set it to like 14 pixels or whatever, or that's where I have it. 14 is just enough for me, or you can make it really big. You're on 16.
16 works for me on I've got a Retina Mac, 5K Retina.
Oh, you've got a 5K screen. That's
So that helps. Yeah.
Can I have like maybe one of your Ks? Do my share? I just want 1K. I'm not greedy. I just want 1K.
Mine's an old iMac.
Gotcha.
5K.
I see what you guys are saying, and that's also a feature within Windows because I was just playing, not Windows, within the Apple operating system inside accessibility. You can also change font size for programs that play nicely with it. It was
isn't that universal?
Yes.
Can you?
Yes.
So that's what it is. Yeah. So I just needed this text to be bigger, not another.
Only in Ecamm. Yeah. Whereas the accessibility inside of the settings is going to be, you go into your display and then you can customize your text size for apps. You can actually choose which apps it looks like, but I know that when I did that, I saw it change in Ecamm too. Like when I
the newest Ecamm update for beta has that built in specifically for Ecamm to increase the font sizes as you increase the windows for the different overlays or options and things of that nature. So that's going to be a game changer. Just haven't updated it yet.
Cool. Yes, and I am in beta. I will. So that is a difference. I always forget that I just default to beta all the time.
Who doesn't? It's a question. I mean, are we all on the beta? I'm always on the beta. I'm never on the released version.
It's one of those preference things. I never really asked. But I guess I assume most people are beta, but I think some people are not comfortable in beta until I guess they just stay in the regular version. Have any of you guys tried dual mode yet?
That's what we were just saying before you jumped in. I was lamenting that I have no need for it at all, and so I haven't really played with it. So
it is.
How about you?
It's very cool. It is sad that if we wanted to use it, we kind of have to start over versus using the profiles we have. That's the only thing that I'm like, man. But I think once I built, most of the content that I create is short form content. So I'm trying to think like, hey, is there a reason? Well, what's a good reason to have both? Do I really want, but I think it's a great feature and it makes a lot of people really happy. I want to go back to making more long form content. So definitely when I make long form content, there's no reason to not also create the short form version. I just have to redo all of the scenes for it to work, which is a bit of a deterrent time wise right now.
If you're a little more patient, there's a new beta coming out with some really amazing updates to dual mode, which again, I don't play with, but some really nice stuff.
Oh, cool.
So it should be out in the next day or so.
I've just downloaded 4.5 and it didn't say it was 4.5 B anything. You know, normally you'd have it. It's actually 4.5 B7. I've just downloaded it now.
I'm seeing. I am just looking right now too, and it says 4.5 B7 is now available. I'm on B6.
Correct. Yep, B7 is. It just had some fixes in it. Do any of you know about enhanced media mode from Zoom that's coming?
No.
So this is
say more.
super exciting. And
Talk
it
to us.
is
This
going
is why it's
to
good
be
to know,
in,
David.
it is going to be in Ecamm. It's slated right now. Zoom is releasing it March 21st. Ecamm says that they will be ready for that launch. But basically, I don't understand all the details about it, but you're going to get 1080p, 60 frames per second, so much higher FPS, much higher bit rate, like they're tripling the bit rate, which also contributes to the quality of the whole experience. It's not going to look great. Hey, who just popped in? Hey, Mac.
Hey.
It's not going to look great here because I'm playing it through a player, but just take a look at this. So you've got the baseline on the left and the enhanced media on the right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you all can see the difference like I can. It's significant. Really.
I can't see. I'm trying to make you as big as possible, David, so I can
Here, I'll go like this.
spotlight yourself for us.
Yeah, let me. It's like you're not going to see here. I'll point out a couple things. I mean, if you just look at the softness over here versus it's a little more crisp over here. The coloring is much better over here. I mean, this is stuttering over here, and this is just buttery smooth. It really it's a phenomenal upgrade. It's going to be available. It's an add-on from Zoom. So you'll need to add this add-on for $20 a month if you want it. And then, and it will work in Ecamm, but it's really just, it's kind of a life-changing, and sorry, the other big shift is that if you do screen share in Zoom, so for all of the people that are always complaining about Zoom quality, right? This is the fix for that. This ups what you're able to present to broadcast quality. I mean, that's the goal behind this. And if you do screen share in Zoom, it also increases the resolution, the FPS, the frames per second
Frames
there.
per second.
Yeah, which is huge. So in any case,
David, at least on my viewing end, I can see his face is a little sharper around the nose in the image on the right. The coloring looks the same to me though, but when you're looking at the original source, so you're probably seeing something different.
And I can also see what you're seeing. You're right. And look, every monitor is different, so I don't want to overhype it. To me, to my eye, and I don't really have a good eye, to my eye, he's everything's just like flatter on the left. It's like there's less depth. The hair in his beard is not like you can see every single. I don't know. Sorry. By the way, this is Andy Carluccio. This is the Zoom guy who works with our team to make it. So in any case. Cool. In any case, if that's something you care about, that is coming in the end of March, which is exciting.
And that's $20 a month more for that quality for that.
Correct. Yeah. So it's $20 a month. It's $20 a month if you do for the year. So like, what is that? $240 for the year? Yeah.
Sorry, David, came late. What's that called?
It's going to be called Enhanced Media Mode.
Okay.
From Zoom, and so you need to purchase as an add-on from Zoom. I don't exactly understand how it'll work, but then it will work in Ecamm for Zoom. They're already working with Zoom to get that working.
Thanks, David.
How you
Always
doing?
keeping us posted. I
I'm trying. I'm trying.
I mean, Zoom is such a integral part. I do all my courses at the university are through Zoom. I would say most of my meetings happen through Zoom. Every now and again, there's another platform, but probably 85% of all of my time online is spent in Zoom. I
Yeah.
wonder if they're ever going to allow any virtual camera features or not natively within Zoom. I'm teaching my students Camo because it's beginner friendly, it's much simpler, it's multi-platform. My college students are not going to go get Ecamm, but hopefully they see me using it, and those that in time will budget for that will want to get one in the future. But I just wonder
What,
if Zoom is ever going to
what do
have
you mean by
some
virtual
stuff built
cams?
in. Being able to do anything on screen, such
Oh,
as an
they,
overlay, an
yeah, they
image,
announced that also.
anything.
That was the second
Really?
announcement. Yeah. So what they just partnered with a company called VizRT. Is this what it's called? Oh, is this the VizRT? Yeah. So check this out. This is actually, is this the right thing? Yeah.
Isn't Vizar an NDI company?
Say again?
I've certainly heard of them.
Esh. There's someone in our waiting room, but I don't know this person. So I'm gonna not let them in quite yet. I'll show you. Oh, HubSpot quit. Let me see if I can find. Oh, okay, here it is. So here it is. Give me a moment. All right. Media group chat, waiting room. Please come in with your real name. Okay, sorry. I keep crashing. So this is, they're partnering with VizRT, and they're launching 2 new apps. And one of them is going to require a physical box. The other one is just kind of like a Zoom app, right? So this is, let me go like this. So you can see you can have scrolling on the bottom. You can have things come in on the side. Basically, all the kind of stuff that, in a very basic level, that we can do in Ecamm. They're bringing. You can see what it looks like there on the left. Oops. Let me bring that back up. Sorry. You can see all the different things that you'll have available on the right-hand side here. But the real kind of crazy stuff is, oh no, let's go forward. So you set all the stuff up in Zoom, and now what I don't know here is, will we in Ecamm have access to this? Not that we necessarily need it, by the way, because we have Ecamm, but will we have access to it? Because if it's implemented as an app, then we won't, because Ecamm for Zoom does not have access to apps. But so that's, what was that called? Active something, I don't remember. Here's the crazy thing. So when you get one of these Zoom Room devices, now what's wild about that total sales thing that you see there, let me get my head out of the way. Unlike in Ecamm for Zoom, that's actually fixed in place. So if he were to move behind it or in front of it, like he can, and if the camera were to rotate, it would stay fixed in space, which is a little crazy. It's going to allow you to do, this is all without green screen, by the way. This is the other thing, that VizRT has this AI, whatever thing that they're doing, that allows you to do this without green screen. So, but check out this one. Are you ready for this? This is insane.
Mm-hmm. I'm ready.
That woman is on a Zoom call with him.
Oh, wow.
And you can bring her into your scene then send out to other people. So if you imagine if he had his screen off to, behind her, and he was looking at her, and she had a screen in front of her, it could actually look like they're looking at each other. They call this teleportation. That's what they call this
Oh
feature.
my
Oh,
gosh.
hence the effect.
Yeah, exactly. So
Wow.
that's coming also. That's
Hey,
not
Star
out
Trek
yet.
changed the world. You know, that's
It
what they say.
Yeah, it's really kind of crazy. So, but the thing that you were talking about, Tatiana, is sort of the basic being able to overlay stuff. That is going to be just, you'll probably have to pay for it, I'm guessing. I don't know. But that's coming as like an app in Zoom.
Interesting. And I know a couple of years ago I checked out one. It was super basic. It's basically like a name tag and it had a branding and all of that. So I never really got into showing it to my students, but tools like Camo allow them to dip their toes in the water and create really good looking scenes
Yeah.
with a simpler program. But I was just always wondering, why doesn't Zoom just do some of this stuff?
I think it's because
Yeah.
they're just too big a monster. It's I always liken these things to the aircraft carrier hanging a left turn versus you in a speedboat. You know, you and I, we can do all sorts of stuff by looking in the mirror and say, hey, is that cool? Let's go do it. Let's go blow $300. Let's go whatever. They're like, well, let's go blow 30 million and see if this works over the next 3 years. It's a totally different, I think, dynamic because the size, which allows for companies like Ecamm to be really valued, you know, because this will do two things, right? It'll actually boost Ecamm sales because once Zoom starts charging for this stuff, people will start Netflixing. You know, they'll start adding up all the little nickels and dimes they're paying through the app store of Netflix, of Zoom, and realize for about the same money or maybe less, I could just all in one have a broadcast studio. And you know, it's there's enough for everybody, but for those that might need it or want it, I think it's going to be interesting. I don't see me being an early adopter on it personally, because what I have found is I'm going the other way. I'm deconstructing all my fancy stuff into simple stuff because people want more connection than they want
Yes.
fancy schmancy. Like I got 2 green screens here if anybody wants to buy them. I mean, it's like, you know, that type
I
of
feel the
thing.
same way. Yeah.
It's just, you know, now it's like my even I'm subduing my backgrounds. I'm just chilling, and people are like, oh, I just want to lean in. But that's the people I work with. I can see the fancy broadcast stuff being like sales stuff that people are doing. I think that still has a place for it, and whatever, like I call it Super Bowl ads, you know, but and
You know what?
teaching what you do, I think it's going to be both.
You know, Andy said something. We had him on the Zoom Test Kitchen last week. He said something interesting, which is that the people who want to use, you know, overlays and stuff like that, they have the bandwidth to learn how to use these different tools or to learn how to use Ecamm or to learn how to use, he said 99.9% of the folks have no need and no desire to have this stuff. So for Zoom to kind of, you know, put it in there when they know that you and I are going to find it on our own, whether they provide it to, you know, we'll hack our way into it if we need to.
Yeah. This was a realization for me as an educator. I forget if I've shared this with you guys, but it was last year, and I'm doing a faculty workshop, and I'm all excited, and I'm sharing with people saying, all right, so how much do you know about virtual cameras? And I already figured they didn't know a lot, but I just wanted to do a check and talk to them about virtual cameras. And it was crickets. And I was thinking, oh, wait a second. Not only have you never used it, you actually don't know what I'm talking about. So then I had to dial it back. I'm like, okay, I actually need to teach what is a virtual camera? Why would you use it? How is it beneficial in your teaching? And then I realized when I was a guest speaker in another professor's class in Zoom, she's like, oh, I've never done breakout rooms before. And I'm like, what? So I'm so surprised that so many people have not tried some of the more simpler features. And even though Philippe Nardi is an OBS guy, I still think he has great ideas and tons of creativity. But I would love to be able to animate my responses, my polls. I mean, I do use Stream Alive and I have for a long time. But I love to be able to see things populating on screen at times. Like Steven, I also scale it back. Like acoustic is so nice sometimes. Sometimes you just want to hear all the instruments. Sometimes you just want a little a cappella, keep it simple. So I like having the options and blending it and keeping it interesting. So one day classes, we're not really heavy on the technology today. And then another day is just, where we're actually, I want to wow you a bit with some spinning things.
I totally
Yes.
agree with that. It's important that the variety. You guys may remember, but I do mostly 3-day workshops, 6 hours a day, and I have to change it up. You can't just look at this, for like 3 days. It's not going to work. But I just had a conversation with my team last week. We just did a workshop, and we had to remind ourselves that we're talking about investing. We all understand the language, we all understand the concepts, we all understand, and like we're teaching people that we almost have to go like, this is a dollar bill. Like we have to start back at there. So we're making assumptions like people know stuff that they haven't got a clue about. Like the average person that takes a mortgage never read it, forget about understands it, but actually just, oh, if I sign here, initial here, here, and here, that means I get the keys to the house, right? And they go, right. And you go, okay. So we have to remind ourselves, like if I say to somebody, hey, did you know that you can substitute a motorboat for the collateral on your house? And they go, I never signed that. Oh no, it's a substitution of collateral clause. It's clause 14B. It's in every, and they, no. So we have to remind ourselves too, like take a step back and just, we know stuff that other people don't know, that we have to be careful not to take for granted. And it's good to keep ourselves honest and remind ourselves from time to time about that.
Yep.
Yeah, because I just two things in terms of what we've been talking about. One, I think a lot of it has to do with pedagogy as well, because one of my mantras is that technology can't save you, right? I mean, it's a means to an end, and I teach high school, so it's about lesson planning. So my lesson plans are in 3 parts: pre-reading, reading, post-reading / homework, right? So what do I want to get across from a informational standpoint and sharing, but the way in which I do it, roundtable, Socratic seminar, journal writing, don't say anything, think to yourself, wait 1 minute before you respond. I think a lot of the pendulum has beginning to swing now, where I'm not suggesting it's anti-technology, but with AI usage and other usages, it is a movement now toward authenticity, and what that looks differently for us now than even it did 2 or 3 years ago, right? For the people who are completely against Chat GPT, I remind some of my coworkers, okay, it's the technology version of Cliff Notes, right? I mean, I read Cliff Notes growing up. I didn't want to read it for a plot summary, but some text, I just couldn't understand who the characters were, how they were related, what's going on. So I read the chapter summary because I wasn't worried about plot spoilers. That didn't replace my reading, but it enhanced my appreciation because I knew specifically what I want to look for in that particular environment. So it's interesting that you talk about the waiting rooms. I always think, what's the no tech, low tech version of the tech we're doing? Waiting rooms would be, you're sitting at a table with a group of individuals and you ask them to do some group work. There are like 4 or 5 tables in a room. That's Zoom waiting room, but you still have to make it engaging and not just say, here's the information. I'll take a coffee break and I'll be back in a half hour. Who does that, right? Even in real life, you probably look up and say, I want my money back. So that authenticity and pedagogy in terms of why to use technology and how to use it is also helpful from an educational perspective as well.
Yeah, great points, Darren. That's really, really true. I appreciate especially the throwback to Cliff Notes, but I'm finding myself, and my husband and I were talking about this the other day. We're watching a movie and the storyline takes a little bit of a dip. So what do? He starts playing a game on his phone. I start scrolling a bunch of things on my phone, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with us? We literally need constant dopamine reinforcement. So we have made an intentional thing like, hey, when we're going to sit down to consume some media, let's make it one media, because it's just so tempting to add another layer and another layer. So we're trying to strip it back so we don't keep going up and up and up and up and needing more dopamine rewards in our brains. So I hear you. It's important to keep all those things in mind.
I'm totally guilty of trying to look up a plot twist of an ongoing movie in the middle of the movie. Like, I just like, can we get to where I know you're going to turn this thing? Oh, I don't have patience. I'm going to have to go look it up. It's like, oh, dang, I'm going to have to get up and get my phone. Oh, it's always right next to me. It's such a great point. I've purposely done that now. Like, do not have my phone in my room where I would watch a show or something like that. And that goes along with, remember during pandemic, the big thing was binge watching, right? Now it's binge watching with your phone, and it's binge watching with either non-contextual, meaning you're playing a game while there's a slow part in the thing, or you're trying to get ahead of the plot. And I'm sure the creators of all of this are well aware what we're doing.
Oh yeah. I mean,
And they're probably writing for that. For all we know, they're writing for it now.
Yeah, and because so much of it becomes automatic. I mean, binge watching, Netflix eliminated the choice. It made it so easy for us to not choose, to just accept that there's the next one coming. Before, we had to click something, make something happen. So anyway, I see it. I see it happening in my own brain, and I talk about it with my students, but I think it's going to be really important for our mental health, for our minds, for our brain health, to be aware of how technology impacts the way that we spend our time, because I definitely see it happening to me. That said, I love technology.
When you have a sec, let me know. I wanted to share something I was experimenting with in the past couple of weeks. Just let me know if we have time for that. Just probably take like 3 minutes max.
On your mark, get set, go for it, Stephen.
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, that was great. So one of the things I can't do well is teach, train, educate while simultaneously reading the chat. And the chat is forever scrolling. And at the breaks, I'll scroll the chat a little bit. Moreover, now I've used the Q&A like in Zoom. I'm also on Zoom like you are. But I'll use the Zoom. I'll say, put in your questions during the break so that I can refer to them. And then I'll consolidate questions that might be important for other people or clarity or what have you. I've decided to enter the world of agentic AIs. And I, along with basically using a couple of APIs and Make, I created a way to scan the Q&As and the chats in real time and provide me all the insights. So I have a list of insights that I want to see of what's going on, what's the sentiment in the room, are they getting it, are they not getting it, where are they slowing down, are there any buying signals, because I also provide additional support after the 3 days. Are there any buying signals? If so, what are those buying signals? Are they a hot lead? Are they, a fence sitter? Are they whatever? And I just ran it this weekend, sort of semi-manual. I couldn't get my agent to automatically read my chat. So at the break, I copied and pasted it into my other side of the manual agentic AI. And oh my gosh, it came up with such tremendous insight. And it's very different than like getting, when you get a Zoom, whatever they call it, the AI companion or whatever. It's very different than that because you're actually setting specifically what you want to see and your metrics and how you want to measure it against what you're trying to do. And one aspect of it is, check in on their learning. And I just found it interesting that like now that I'm looking at this, I'll complete the task or I'll farm it out to somebody to just write the AI. But it's very, very basic agent to do that for me.
What
I'm
tool?
sorry.
What tool?
Primarily, I'm just using OpenAI API into Make, and from Make, I only have 3 bubbles, all of which in Make that one goes out. Okay, there's a manual version and there's an automated version. One manual version is using Fathom to extract the information from the files as not sort of as a summary, but the API is the part that I haven't had connected yet, but I have it. And that's the one
Zoom
that'll
API.
The Zoom API, yeah, to be able to read it in real time.
Yeah.
And I figure once I get that code cracked, I might be able to start figuring out what Felipe Nardi is doing with reading the chat responses, but not figuring it out, but how to turn that into, like you said, Tatiana, like I'm also using Stream Alive or other things like that, but I do like some of the illustrative ways that stuff comes up on his screen. And I know how he does it with his own tools that he's using, but I figure eventually I could figure out some way that that'll work for me as well. So, and eventually I'll just ask my AI to create that AI to be able to, who knows where. But like someone like David, I'm sure you and your team, you're much further ahead in the tech side. I was just playing around with it and I found that the insight was really good.
Yeah, the challenge is how do you get the data in there? You're right. I mean, Zoom has, you had me thinking about Zoom OSC. So Zoom OSC.
No, it's not OSC, but I get, yeah.
No, I understand. The reason I'm thinking about it is because Zoom OSC can listen to the chat for you and then spit it out wherever you want it. You may not even need the API. I wonder if that's really cool that you're doing that in real time. Boy, if you could get it to happen automatically, man alive.
Well, I should be according to my little like, and I'm really not, I'm not going to call myself any kind of knowledgeable on like even using make and whatever. And what's the other one? 8NN? 8N. Wait.
N8N. If this then that.
No, not the IFTT. I think it's, anyways. My son's a developer, and so he's, basically said, if you send it over to me, I'll write it for you. But I kind of like to play around, like you said before, Tatiana. Like we're the type that will play around with this stuff to see if we can get it to work, and then after probably wasting way too much time on it, having too much fun, we'll then give it over to somebody and say, okay, can you just make it work for me? But so
I think there's something in us as educators that we need to understand it, even though we don't need to be the one to do it all the time. But there's something like I want to understand how all this works, and then I'm happy to like teach a student and have them. But I think what you're describing is essentially having a bot version of a human facilitator who's reading the chat, keeping you abreast of what's happening, what's going on, but also understanding everybody based on their responses from things too. So that's a pretty unique use of,
and then it's a really cool prompt that also breaks everything down so that when it spits it back at me, I actually see it kind of color coded with like little colored circles, so I can see, oh, this is, somebody that totally gets it. There's somebody that's totally falling behind and stuff like that. So the manual part is working really well. And now it's the connection part. But because of the type of Zoom account that I have, not unlike you, I do not have the highest level administrator to be able to pull or to create the whatever I have to create. I guess it's the API, but to create that.
Excuse my interruption. Breaking news. The new beta just dropped. You ready for this? Video overlays, you don't need to convert them to WebM anymore. They'll play audio natively. And MP4 files.
I love you.
Video overlays will now be automatically synchronized across horizontal and vertical canvases. Stopwatch and countdown overlays will be automatically synchronized across horizontal and vertical canvases.
So that's for people. So people in dual mode don't have to do two timers.
Exactly.
It's just one.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
The Ecamm, now I guess I can show it to you now because because they did this, but the Ecamm preferences window has been changed with it now has a horizontal thing.
Ooh, Ken and Glenn.
Instead of across the top. So there's that. That's pretty much the big stuff. So yeah, they
You have a red
just
light that flashes on your desk when this happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just
I
don't
really
update
like
now.
the WebM
That's huge, isn't
feature
it?
is a
Yes.
big deal.
Yeah, that is huge. And it's funny that when we were testing this, we said to them, this is like this is a point update. This is not like, that's a huge thing, that video thing. It's been such a pain point for so many people.
Especially because, unless if it's not WebM, if you were to download, export, send a profile to someone else, it's not going to you're not going to be able to access the video. There'd be some sputtering. I did some work for someone a couple months ago, and she said everything worked okay, and I opened that baby up, and the video was just all out of sync, and some of the things that is huge. The WebM alone. It's huge. Yeah.
That's
agree.
good. That's good because we had our workaround, but it was kind of a pain.
It really was.
Even though
Yeah.
I did like the file size, WebM files are teeny tiny, so that is a good.
I was curious about why. I was curious why some file formats could play audio and others couldn't. I don't know why. I don't understand it.
I would.
One I downloaded just before we started this meeting.
Yes, it came out at 6:45 apparently. 3:45, excuse me.
But it says it's version. What did I say it was? B7, 4.5
Yes.
B7.
Yes.
So
the new
no,
one
we're
is
on
B7.
B7 now. This should probably be B8, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's funny because the update information on my other Mac, which is just behind me, shows me it doesn't have the beta number. It just says 4.5. So maybe it should be B8.
Now, what's interesting? No, they didn't change it. That's interesting. It's 4.5 B7 still. I don't know why. Oh, wait a second. No, sorry. Ignore me. It's 4.5 B7.
Yeah, that's the one I have coming up as what's neat. The latest update is going to be B7.
Yeah. So there you go.
Well, it's
And
funny, in the
interrupt
list,
you,
it's got 4.5 B7 things listed further down the page. Anyway, it's just one of those things. I haven't tested it, so other than talking to you guys now. But an interesting one.
Cool.
You'd like to copy Stephen's 3 minutes for a short question.
Sure thing, Matt. Go for it.
Yeah, just kidding. But hi everyone. I'm having a man's cold, so I'm gonna keep it brief and not talk too much. Wonderful to see you again. And I have a question because I've got this idea. I've had it for a long time to do the co-working sessions where people jump on Zoom. Everybody does their own thing and they just hang out together. So I've been doing that now for a while with Kat Mulvihill's Momentum Jumpstart course. It's a great community, but I've got this idea of why wouldn't I do the co-playing? A couple of musicians jump on Zoom or in Ecamm. I bring them in interview mode, and then we just kind of co-play, and I do a live stream with that from my end, and then I can, let's say, activate each of their audio like every 5 or 6 minutes for the public to listen to, if everybody's okay with that. And then like every 20 minutes maybe we could just jump on a 5-minute talk and just okay, I came up with this, how about that? So everybody could do that. It's a lot of moderation. It's a lot of clicking, like okay, I'll let you on, I'll let you in, and all that. But it's a great idea because it can maybe inspire people to learn more about playing, maybe learn a lick. Maybe somebody would have a special lick to share for everybody, and then it would be like, or whatever, if everybody plays the same song, and then you could do your own version of that and then perform for each other. But I know there's a limitation in Ecamm from the number of interviewees, and I don't have the paid license for Zoom, and I'm not intending to do it, because if you have too many people, then it's not the real thing. I was thinking of the idea to come like a 2 or 3 guests who are pre-booked, so we know who's coming, and we announce that, and we get together, and then we bring in maybe 2 or 3 from the audience who say in the YouTube chat like, "Hey, I'd like to come along," right? And then we choose them, bring them in, and just keep the thing going. So do you have any thoughts about that? Did any of you do something similar, especially David as a musician himself, maybe?
I mean, I love that idea. You know what? The biggest challenge is not from the people that you invite, because the folks that you invite, they're going to have a good setup. They're going to have a mic or a mixer where they can plug their instrument in or whatever. They're going to know how to make sure original audio is on and stuff like that. The biggest challenge, I think, is when people folks from YouTube want to jump in and they want to play something, and then you end up having to do tech support for them because they don't know how to turn on original audio, or they don't have a mic, or they don't have a whatever. But that's,
Well,
what a cool idea, kind of instead of co-working, co-playing. I like that.
I could actually share a link to my, let's say, public Notion page where there are instructions about tech stuff. Like just tell them in the beginning, whoever is interested in that, please visit this link and, let me know, and just write in the chat that I've read the instructions, let me in. So I don't know, it could be fun, just like, goofy thing to do.
Mac, you could even make a little short video to share with people. Like, this is exactly what you do, how you do it, as a guide, a little tutorial for them before joining, so that's kind of like part of the requirements. You got to watch this and do the things here to make sure your sound is what it needs to be to join us.
I mean, if you really want to quality control, then what I might do is have the actual meeting that you're sending out, that you're streaming out, in a breakout room, and then have a sort of a gatekeeper in the main room. So that way people can come in to the main room, and that gatekeeper can do a sound check, an audio check, or whatever. And then if they are really ready to rock and roll, then they send them into that breakout room. And then, but again, if you're not going, if the quality isn't that important, and I think there's value to not worrying about it also.
It should be like a welcoming for almost everybody who has a webcam, and that'd be it. But you meant the breakout room, it's or a waiting room, that's Zoom, right?
Sorry, you said you're not doing Zoom. Sorry, my bad. Sorry.
I mean, I love and hate Zoom. That's the problem, because everybody's so used to Zoom. And I don't have the paid version. I think it's so much waste of money to pay to Zoom to do that. I don't know. I'm like
Mac, where are you outputting?
What do you mean? What I'm outputting?
No. Where? When people would be watching? So what?
Are you
you're
streaming
not
to YouTube or something?
I'm streaming to YouTube, and I could do it on Facebook as well. And I know Facebook downsizes to.
The reason I ask
720.
the reason I ask is because when the pandemic hit, and my daughter had to start doing it. My daughter's a singer, and she was collaborating, and they eventually all figured out. She was on Twitch, and they were restreaming out to YouTube or wherever, and she would be collaborating with some other musicians. That was kind of not really one way, but it wasn't sort of like audience participation as far as like what you're saying, which is really cool. But it was, let's say, her and 2 or 3 or 4 other musicians, and they were each, they would show up each in their little square, and they would play together, but they would stop and talk to each other, and the fans or whoever would kind of enjoy that. You want to add another layer to that, where the fan, or we'll call them the fan, but basically the audience member would be able to participate, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the idea. It's not just like a look at us pros playing together and admire us. It's more of a bring people in. It's not a competition, and there's no prestige. It's just like come as you are and play
Yeah.
something or just ask a question. I mean, you will have like 3-4 guys who are,
I'll give you
yeah.
a funny, if you don't solve the problem, I'll give you a place you can try.
Okay.
If you call to, they give you a lot of free information, and maybe I shouldn't share this, but I will. But if you call Berklee College of Music in Boston
Oh
and
yeah.
you ask them for their tech, they do this all the time, and they do it for like broadcasting, exactly, because they'll broadcast, for example, they'll have one of their teachers that
Mhm.
is, they're teaching something, and then they'll have their student come on live, and they'll be able to
Mhm.
correct them and stuff like that. And their tech people are not the people. I wish my daughter was home. She's not, but their tech people are not the administrators of the school, which
Yeah.
means like they're not looking like why you're not a Berklee student. They're just like tech people that just like to help people.
Yeah.
If I'm getting my point across here,
Yeah, sure.
you know, and so my daughter would go with her laptop all the time to the tech people, and they would
Mm.
set her all up and stuff like that. Now she went there, but she would go
Yeah.
there, and they never asked like, show me your student ID card, show me your this, show me. It was like, oh no, we'll just help you out. And so sometimes you can go, and it doesn't have to be that
Yeah.
school. I just know that school, they're pretty
Mhm.
open. But if you're looking for like a solution like that might be more interactive,
Yeah, sure.
any one of those well-known music schools or colleges could have some solutions we're not thinking of.
Mhm. Yeah, well, that's in the US. Here in Sweden, where I live, I mean, I'm a tech guru for several of, high schools of, music colleges and universities. They don't know anything about this, and it's not happening. But actually, it's a great tip. Thank you so much because
But you
I
can't, I mean,
know,
you can call
yeah,
the US, it's okay. They won't,
yeah, of course,
they,
of course.
they won't
But
give you a
there's
hard time because you're in Sweden.
no, no. I have a friend who went to Berkeley, and he knows people over there.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
just
think I
drop Max
remember,
Martin's name. That's all.
yeah.
Just say, just drop Max, the most
Yeah,
famous Swede, I think.
yeah. Max told me to call you. Oh yeah. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks so much. Yeah. I think I'll go on with that. It's great. I talked to my Notion AI, and I love that thing. I got this agent that I instructed as a project manager, project leader, and it really works amazing stuff. It's they have brought this thing up high, and it's getting even better. And now they're going to give us custom agents. Whoever has a business account in Notion is going to get those for free or included, which is fantastic. Yeah.
That's a
That's
really
really
cool
cool,
initiative.
Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Notion through an education account, and they
Oh yeah.
do not give the AI feature in
No,
the
I have that
education
version
account.
as well. I mean, we have an account for our nonprofit, and it's a kind of what's it called? Well, it's a free account for up to, I don't know, 600 people, but they won't give you the AI. Yeah, of course. You need to make man. That costs money. AI costs money.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
By the way, David, I did look it up on my step-by-step, and just to let you know, it's creating a server-to-server OAuth app in Zoom, the Zoom
OAuth,
app marketplace. Yeah, OAuth.
Yeah. Oh.
And then enabling it to monitor your chats and the Q&A, and then it passes it on to Make and a webhook, and then it parses the data through a JSON, and then it outputs that to OpenAI. So
Yeah.
Phew.
It's like, phew.
When they break it down step by step, it's really doable, I have to say. But the whole idea is it's like really.
Demetra just said, "Can you say that again, please?"
Yeah, I wasn't. I'm sorry. I still have this filter on from when I was teaching earlier.
Well, it's basically, I mean, in English, it's basically connect Zoom to Make, and then pick the data you want, and then output it in the way you want to see it, where you want to see it. That's going to be the English version.
Hey, you know what? I just had a thought. Do you remember what was it called? Ninja Stream, Stream Ninja, something like
Social Stream Ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were able to grab the chat just by being in a web version of Zoom.
Right.
They weren't using an API or anything, I don't think. I think they were just scraping it from the web. I wonder if you used ChatGPT Atlas, which is ChatGPT's browser. I wonder if you opened Zoom with the chat in the browser, and then you said in the sidebar, analyze X, Y, or Z. I wonder if it would be able to do that without doing any building. Do you know what ChatGPT Atlas is? Do you know?
Yeah. No,
about?
I'm making a note.
Yeah.
I'm looking off into my other screen where I'm taking.
I wonder if that could work. It sometimes works. I use ChatGPT Atlas every day. It sometimes works for me, sometimes doesn't. But it could be interesting.
And this stuff is going to get really interesting.
I actually just launched the first app that I've built a ton of apps that I use internally, but I just launched the first one into the wild that other people can use, and it's pretty exciting. It's kind of amazing what you can do with this stuff.
What's that?
Wait, is this the one you told? Did you tell us about this? Is this the Jewish teaching tool?
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it to us, or somehow I know about it.
Medley, yeah.
Oh, cool.
So
Awesome. I had a mishap. This is not a question with an answer, but maybe you guys have some insights. In class yesterday, my students were delivering podcasts. It's a really big day. And while they went into breakout rooms to do a rehearsal, I paused the recording because why record, a blank 15 minutes while they're in their rehearsals. So they came back. The first two teams did their podcasts, and then I realized I never resumed the recording. So this is part of like operating procedures. And I'm like, how can I make sure that I'm recording? Because part of the issue is not only am I teaching and leading the class, I'm also producing and I'm checking everything, move all the different parts and all these things. And I simply did not remember. So I almost feel like I'm going to have to get something over here that says, are you recording? Except I don't always need it. So it could kind of like blend into my background. But anyway, I just wondered if that's ever happened to you and if any of you guys figured out ways to make sure you're recording
February
when
11.
it matters.
February 11. That's when it happened to me.
Oh,
what you just said. And how do I know that? Because I got a freaking email this morning. You talking about like get out of my head? I got an email this morning from my client who I was doing some work for on February 11. Thank God it was only a 60-minute thing. And they said, hey, we can't find your power call in the cloud recordings. And I thought, wait a second, did I ever resume recording? And then I thought, I must answer this way. Well, there must be a glitch in the matrix. It must have something to do with Zoom that I have no idea about. I had everything, but did I actually hit resume? We had the transcript, which is independent, and that's how I knew it was there. And it's like, because I remember I had a kerfuffle with the audio and when I was starting, and I just said, I don't need to record all this nonsense that I'm trying to figure out. So I remember hitting the pause button and I never hit the restart button. And so when you said, do you know the last February 11? Yep, 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's my answer. And boy, oh boy, I was just thinking to myself today, I was just, for future, I'm just gonna leave the dang thing on. And because it's auto recording, right? So I had to actually turn it off. So I presume yours is set to auto record. Oh, you're on mute, I think.
Tatsi, we can't hear you because you're muted.
That's so funny. I am not auto recording, but that may be the answer. That I may just need to let it auto record and never pause it
Just enable auto recording. I did that years ago, and I just said I'll edit it. I'll
Just let
pull
it
it out. And I'll
roll,
just
let it roll.
yeah. No, I'm just, and I'm telling you, the one time I do it is the one time you forget, because that little thing is not that visible when you're, and having a piece of paper. I'm going to tell you something. You're going to ignore that too. So
Yeah.
But Tatjana, if you start yeah, the presentation, you normally have a screen where you have to yeah, you're counting down or something, and then you switch to the view where you're speaking, etc. Can you build in there with multifunction with your stream deck that you automatically put it then also to recording?
You know, that is a good idea. I could create a scene immediately of its part, like welcome, and then when we do like a mini agenda or something, have that be something visible, like that can come on as a reminder. I think I should probably go with not idiot proof, but something along the lines to just let it be, let it record. Who cares if they have to sift through all this time of me waiting or the wait screen or whatever? Just better to have it. Really, the thing is, I'm trying to make it as concise as possible because their classes are 3 hours. So to add more time to that, like waiting screens and this and that, I'm trying to make it more concise. But then that's how trip ups happen.
You know what I have I installed this on my computer a little while back. It's called Meeting Bar, I think. And I don't really know what it does, but there's one thing that it does that I love is that when I have a meeting that's starting, it takes over my entire screen. Like my entire screen goes blank and it just says, go to your meeting. Like, and I love that because otherwise I will miss stuff. So you could actually create an event that says, record this Zoom or record this meeting or record this class. And when it's time, it will literally just take over your screen and it doesn't shut anything down. It just goes full screen. And then you have to physically dismiss it. So I don't know that I love
is that
it.
just
Because,
is that just an app? Is that just like a Mac
it's
app?
just like it's a menu. It's
Well, I
yeah,
was asking
and you
because
just-
when I put in meeting bar in the search, it's giving me all sorts of women I could meet at the bar. So
Oh.
that's not. I might be
Meeting
on the wrong page, but
so it's Meeting Bar is an open source app built in Ukraine.
well, the Ukraine part makes sense for what I found.
Yes. Well, no, it's I have no idea where I got it from. It's
Because there is one that says meetingbar.app. I don't know if that's the one, but
so it's Meeting Bar. Let's see.
oh, I see the logo there. I could look for that.
Yeah. Yeah, here you go. Meetingbar.app. Yes. This is
Okay,
the one,
there's the right one. Hey, by the way, before we run out of time and we were talking about recording, I did also want to let everybody know, if you haven't noticed this yet, you cannot cloud record inside breakouts. And if somebody has a way to do that, let me know. And you have to be a co-host or better, host or co-host, to local record in your breakouts. I learned that the hard way as well.
I don't think so. I thought I had to, as long as I granted the participants the ability to record, I thought my students could record in a breakout room. Am I wrong about that?
What I found was you had to be a co-host to start the recording. Mind you, it could be because I don't let my participants do that. So I could have the setting,
Yeah, you would have to give them permission to record. Oh, Demetra, do you need Demetra, your hand is up. Did you need to, or were you saying bye or?
Oh, I'm saying goodbye, but because I have to go, but I wanted to say one thing I've done to make myself record when I have paused is I put like a little ribbon just that's annoying, just over the back of my screen. So it's just dipping down one little bit. And if I see that there, I know it's on pause. And it's, I don't want it there. So I'm really aware that it's there. That's one thing I've done. And then auto record, just even though it's annoying, just starting it in auto. But just this week, I put it on pause and I didn't do it, but I wasn't using the ribbon. Anyway, that's one thing I found. This is a physical object. I've also just put something on my keyboard on my computer, like a little thing, eraser. And I'm like, oh, and that's kind of worked for me.
Yeah. I
Low
know.
tech is
Thank you
great.
so much, Demetra.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good week, month.
Yeah, it would be good if all breakouts could be recorded to the cloud simultaneously. I usually we have at least 4 breakout rooms, and I have to tell each of my room leaders they actually have to remember to hit the record button under
Right.
penalty of
Yeah.
death. So and I can't blame them. It's like every week somebody oh man, I forgot, I was so in the zone. So yeah, I just wish that little functionality of Zoom would
We
be
should
so
have
awesome.
such problems when our students say, "Oh, I was so in the zone, I forgot." We should have such problems.
We know it's interesting. I actually, to your point, Tatiana, created a workflow. So I'm doing some things through Kartra for marketing purposes and things of that nature. And, you know, I have a template, a copy, the cloning, a setup. But it was funny. I got off the phone with the client and then realized there was actually a note in the one version that says, be sure to replace with this particular workflow that was actually in the thank you message to the person. So I thought, oh, that looked very unprofessional to have in bold, remember to swap this out. But I actually created a workflow. And I think one of the challenges that I have, and some of you may have as well, not necessarily having people to help us in the background. It's information overload. It's one of those things where, yeah, I'll remember, but sometimes when we rely upon our muscle memory, that's what sometimes gets us in trouble too. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be helpful for every situation, but when there's Zoom conferences, it's part of the punishment and benefits for my wife being involved. And I was like, honey, I need you on Zoom to let people in. She's like, you could do that yourself. I said, you don't understand. I can't be looking at the screen to let people in and focusing on what I'm doing and looking at the comments and pressing buttons here or there. So expanding that repertoire is a great training opportunity, because once we begin to know certain things, we tend to even unintentionally so keep it to ourselves. You know, I can do it faster. It's a shorter period of time for me to do it than teaching you how to do X, Y, Z. But I think the more we begin to expand in certain areas in terms of help to get, it's beneficial. But I've done a workflow, and I literally have it here, and I just have to check off the things. It's the 2 things I didn't do that made all the difference in the world. And I'm just going to start printing those sheets every time I have a webinar and just check them off as I'm doing them some one way or another. And that may not solve all of it, but for me, it's on the back end of making sure that I provide the replay. You know, something's kind of important, like actually including the replay link, because you have to save it and upload it to make it available, and not show or send the same replay link from the previous video, which is kind of awkward as well. But there's a lot going on, right? As we're mastering the technology classroom, even in real life, we're juggling multiple tasks at one time. And it's the proverbial, can you write me a lesson plan? I can't possibly tell you all the different things I do. So, just the food for thought. There's some challenges I'm trying to overcome, but it's tough.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
Thank
the
you, Darren.
pilots have their checklist, and they've flown 1,000 times, and they got to go through that checklist to make sure they don't miss something. So
That's what I said to my husband too, Stephen. I said, I gotta act like a surgeon here and say,
yeah,
patient name, date of birth, which leg, I could go
yeah.
run through every.
No, you have to, because the one thing or the one time you don't do it, it's the one thing you miss. And to add, Darren, to what you said, is I now have a full-time, well, not full-time, every time I do one of my live events, I now do have a moderator, and I call her an admin, but she's amazing. Her name's Bailey, and she's added so much to the experience that, and I'm sure your wife adds to the experience as well.
Absolutely.
Just having another person adds to the experience. having, you know, I'm a male persona, she's a female persona, it adds a different nuance. People, they like her, they trust her, they tell her stuff they don't even mention to me in private chats. She shows me the DMs and stuff that she'll say, you know, hey, I didn't want to say something, but I think Steven's going a little too fast or whatever. Oh, don't worry about it, it's just because you're getting a little overwhelmed, we'll take care of you. Like that kind of stuff is so incrementally valuable that we don't realize it. So when we can use those people, train them correctly, give them a checklist, have all those moving parts, brief and debrief, I think it just makes the, you know, the people we're teaching just much more engaged and enjoy the experience.
Yeah, and I like Dick's idea about there being some visual, especially for me during high stakes assignments, like students speeches, their assignments, to make sure I'm just building a quick scene of rehearsals, check, recording resumed, check, and whatever other small little things I want to make sure that I don't miss. So I like that idea because I'm still afraid that even if I have it on auto recording, I'll pause it at some point. And the problem isn't starting the recording, it's resuming it if I pause it. So I either have to tell myself I can never pause it, which I'm pretty sure I probably will, or have this checklist to help me make sure. But I've got to go, guys, as well
Who's got
for
dogs?
now.
Is that you, Tatiana?
No, it's not me. Who's got the doggies?
My dogs are quiet.
Yeah.
That's my dog Coco downstairs.
Oh, that's great.
Ah, Darren.
I love
There.
dogs, but I can't have them. I was like, oh.
Aw.
Yeah. Hey, Darren, I want 5% of your voice, please. Could you send it over?
Oh, we all want Darren's voice. Are you kidding?
Oh my gosh, you have no idea the number of times. Oh, great.
You could read the phone book for me. I would just be like, ah.
I have been told I have a radio face.
Oh, you should do voiceover stuff and stuff. Amazing voice.
Thank you. A couple of years ago, I was walking Coco, and one of the neighbors said, "You have a lovely voice. That you're in radio." I said, "Yes, I am." No, I was just kidding.
Oh, that's great.
Boy. Yeah.
But now we can just copy his voice and make it come out of our own mouth, right? I mean, you realize that's
right.
That's so easy to do now.
I'll AI you.
It's so
that's what
easy
happened to
now.
James Earl Jones, right? I mean, he's sold the rights to it Disney or Lucasfilm for his voice for Darth Vader. I mean, I'm no James Earl Jones, but you know, I'll let Disney pay me. Oh, stop it! I just have asthma. I'm not your father.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
We have to change more. It's not only the voice, the color of our skin has to also change then.
All right, guys.
Thanks.